Change.
Changier.
Changiest.
Changestial. A lot of change. That was many.
Change. Vastly.
If we told you how it's going to change, that would be a spoiler. I think there's always elements of that within the show. A bit of darkness. There's always a ray of hope. There's always, with the different storylines. Look, we have a lot of cast members and a lot of characters, and all the storylines are kind of intertwined and intermingled. And so we're always having to change things up, and there's always a bit of darkness and hope and that sort of thing. The thing I'm particularly looking forward to with Eugene is he's a new man. He's got a newfound confidence, and I think that confidence is going to be tested. We're going to see if this sticks with him or not. It's certainly something that's been, a long time coming, and I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm excited about where Abraham is headed from here. It seems as if we have a handle on the breach in the wall. We've taken care of the walkers. Things have come to a relative peace. As we all know, in the world of The Walking Dead, that is a wonderful thing for the moment, but it is not something you can necessarily hold on to for a long time. But in this peace that we have now, or this relative peacetime that we seem to have now, what changes are going to occur with him? How is he going to grow and change and adapt to what's happening right now? And I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I think we should be anxious with any outsiders that we meet, and we should be very anxious with outsiders. We should also be cautiously optimistic with outsiders, because after all, the goal is not to find a safe place to stay that's small with only a handful of us and live out our lives. The goal ultimately is to reconnect, find out what's happening in the big world that is maybe or maybe not out there, and find some answers. It's human nature to find answers, and I think there are a lot of questions that are still unanswered.
I don't know. I mean, we haven't met him yet. We haven't seen him yet. I think in the comics, in that version, I mean, he's a real big bad guy. But in terms of the TV version, we like to do things differently on the show from the comics. And until we see who Negan is on the show, I can't necessarily answer that question with full honesty, because I just don't know. I honestly don't know. It's an interesting thing with this show. I mean, I myself was a fan of it before I started working on the show, and I'm not necessarily drawn to the zombie and the horror genre. I get scared, but I watch this show because it's a show about humans. It's a show about survival, and it feels very real. Every time we turn on the news, there's something else. The sky is falling somewhere else. Some economy is collapsing, or some other dictator is coming to power, and it's scary. And I feel like sometimes, we feel like we're on the doorstep of an apocalypse. And I think that a lot of times we can relate to these characters and relate to this world and go, okay, if everything did kind of fall apart, who would I be? What would I do? Where would I go? Where would I go to get a gun, or where would I go to get water or food, and which family members could I save first, and that sort of thing. And it gets people talking. It gets people thinking about what characters they would be. Ultimately, though, I don't know why the show is so popular. There's a lot of elements that I'm sure that we can't even think of, but I feel like we've hit at the right time in the right place with this show, and we got lucky. And it's definitely something that this is what, TV networks spend a lot of money on research and development to create a show like this, and a lot of times a show doesn't hit the way this show has. This is truly a phenomenon, and we're just happy and proud to be a part of it. Yeah, I definitely like to think I would be a bit more of a man than Eugene. I would like to think that I would be more of a Michonne or a Daryl. But honestly, I would be a lot like Eugene and scared. I scare very easily. I kind of have zero survival skills. I love camping, but I don't know what I'm doing when I'm out there. And I don't know how to build a fire. I don't know how to hunt. I don't know how to do any of these things. I would definitely be a lot like Eugene. Would you? What would you be, Eugene or Abraham?
I don't know. We've talked about this before, and I've done shows in the past where I've done people with either cops or military, and you speak to these men and women who actually do these jobs, who go into battle on a daily basis, and they say that you never really know someone until they go into battle. The person the biggest, strongest, fastest guy might completely freeze up. The smallest, most, mousy female might be right at the front of the line, just taking charge and kicking ass and taking names. You never really know until it hits the fan what's really going to happen. So I don't know. I would like to think that I would be, completely capable. I sort of consider myself a fairly capable person. But, to answer it honestly, I don't know. And let's hope we never have to find out. This has been a show that both Josh and I are fans of. We were just as devastated when they started killing off people as anyone. I imagine the people who have been with the show since the beginning, which now there's 6 of them that are still left, I imagine that's a harder question for them to answer. For us, when we came onto the show, we had already seen people that we cared about in the show, characters that we loved pass. So coming onto the show like that and knowing what the show is going to do to help propel the stories, I think that puts us in a different mindset. So we're sort of like, well, when our time comes to go, we'll go. And hopefully we'll go the way some of these other characters have gone, which we loved to hate, and emotionally, just pissed us off and got us excited, and all of the things that a TV show is supposed to do. Hopefully our deaths will be like that when it's time for us to go. But I don't think we think about it on a day-to-day basis. You focus on the work, you make the story as compelling as possible, and you do your job to the best of your ability, and the rest will take care of itself. People don't get pneumonia and die on this show. So it would probably be in a violent way. And I was talking about this. I want to just be an awesome walker. Like I want something so horrific to happen to me that I get to come back and act with all of those things having happened to me. Yeah, and challenge Greg, to just be like, oh man, we had to do all, we had to work 2 weeks of overtime to make that happen. That's my goal.
Yeah, for me, I would love to go in just a way that's memorable. It doesn't have to be the biggest, goriest, most violent, bloody death. Just in a way that where we feel like there's a hole left in the show because Eugene is gone. A lot of people ask, what character would you bring back that has already died? And I would definitely want Eugene to be a part of that conversation when other people get asked that question. I think he's slowly moving into becoming a man and becoming a character on the show that could be a part of those conversations, and that's an exciting place to be. At the mid-season premiere, episode 609, we had more stunt people, more background walkers, more zombies than we've ever had before. And it was fun to watch Greg and his special effects team as they're running around and they're just giddy with excitement. I think they even added on a few extra people into their makeup effects team to get more and more zombies out. I mean, we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. And that's exciting to see them kind of break the record. I don't know that they necessarily say, oh, what's the record? Let's try and break that. But it starts getting to a point where you just think, oh, God, we've never done this before, and that's a fun territory to be in. And the show certainly jumps into those areas a lot.
I would say that I think Greg, I've only met Greg on this show. I've only known him since I started on this show. But to watch Greg when he comes alive, when he's directing, I think there's a lot of stuff going on. I think stunt guys, makeup guys, actors, anyone who puts anything in front of the screen has had a situation when they're working on television where someone who is supposed to be capturing it, the director or whoever it is, has a different slightly different vision or version of what they wanted to do. And I think sometimes people, they put a lot of work into creating these things, and they're not shot in such a way where it highlights the work. Greg's in a unique position now where he does exactly what is needed because he knows exactly how he's going to shoot it. He knows exactly how the gag is going to work. So nothing is wasted in the sense of making something that, well, if they shoot it this way, it'll be okay. If they shoot it this way, it'll be okay. All of the focus goes on to specifically what is going to be seen and how he wants it to be seen. So I think he's able to do a tremendous amount more with less. And to see him just come alive when he shoots the sequences with the zombies, with the walkers, with the action, the stuff that is sort of secondhand to him, it's amazing, And then to couple that with working with the actors and being able to sort of see his vision, rise as well. He's I would imagine he's a very happy man right now. He's living his dream. For me, my favorite moment of the show is a moment I can't talk about because it hasn't aired yet, unfortunately. My favorite previous moment was the scene with me and Glenn, episode 5, season 5, the two of us talking about sort of life in front of a window. I love it because it's a very graphic shot. It's very close to almost a panel taken out of the graphic novel. There's two people just standing there, sort of silhouette, profile, talking, and almost the entire scene takes place with neither one of us moving. So it literally could have been a panel from the comic book.
I would say that my favorite moment, too, hasn't aired yet. There's actually, my favorite moment hasn't aired, and then there's another favorite moment after that hasn't aired. So that answer will change. But, like Michael, one of my favorites that has aired is from season 5, episode 5, and it's just when Eugene admitted to not having the cure and admitting that he wasn't a scientist. That was a very fun sequence to shoot. And, we spent a lot of time on that and worked on it a lot. We all knew it was a very important part in the story, and we all came together to help each other and make it the best that we can make it. And it was so much fun to collaborate with my castmates and with the crew and just really figure out how we're going to pull this off and how we're going to do it. And, I still feel fulfillment from that moment. Because it was certainly a part in the series for me where I went, okay, this is really fun. This is such a cool show to shoot. I love this.